Hello, I'm Stone Oakwell, and in this video I will show what I discovered when I was doing some research for furniture that I could use in my old school basement. So I'm building a room here in the basement to hold all my old computers and old toys and everything like vintage and old school electronics, the retro stuff, retro basement. And as I'm digging through memories and trying to find items I can put on the walls, like posters and shelves and something. Back in the day, when I was a kid, we went to the local toy shop, and we would find these racks that you could slide, that was hanging on the wall, so it was like doors you could flip through. And the cassettes were like mounted inside it. And this fixture, or what they call it, this tape rack, it was called tape rack. Here in Norway we called it cassette stativ. So that would be the same as a tape rack, directly translated. So the word is correct and everything. And I wanted to find this equipment, this hanging thing for the wall. I knew it would be not something that is produced today, because nobody listen to audio tapes and stuff like this. So it will be more like a retro community type of thing. Maybe somebody is selling old racks and stuff from a shop, like from the 80s, and people talking about it. But I will show you a presentation more in detail, and I seem to not be able to find this, and it's so weird, because this thing must have been touched by millions of people every day for 20 years, at least in Europe. I'm pretty sure they have it in USA also. I will get into the details, but of course these tape racks were not just for Commodore 64 games, all the computers and the 80s that use cassettes. So there will be maybe a Spectrum, Memotech, Amstrad, BBC maybe, but also record store would also have music cassettes of ABBA and Aha, Take On Me or whatever. And all of these racks must end up somewhere, and all this furniture, if you can call it, or mechanical things that are in shops, they usually find their way into people's retro collections or retro basements, and people talk about it, take pictures of it. But I haven't seen this thing online, which is really weird. So I think I've actually catched the Mandela Effect in action. It was only 4 pictures I could find, and I will show you that in detail in the next presentation. I edit everything in my own editing software inside a virtual reality headset, the Quest 2, programmed in Unity, so I can explain things much better and show some pictures and stuff like this. And I also need to have a backup plan, right? If I can't find this item, I need to be able to reconstruct it, because I want to have this on the wall, so I could put all my 30 or 40 Commodore cassettes that I have and just display them just like it was back in the day. And of course this furniture, this tape rack, is not something you could buy and place at your own home. This was mostly like for businesses, right? So it is kind of like thing that maybe weren't advertised so much, and people will just forget about it. And I think that is what happened here. I'm pretty sure everybody will recognize the thing and say, yeah, I remember it, I used it every day, or I used to own record shops. I have 2 in my stock, maybe you can give me one. But it is a mystery, and it is like you catch the Mandela Effect. So Mandela Effect is, of course, you can Google that or whatever, but it is like a thing that everybody experienced maybe 20 years ago, and then 15 years later they will talk about it and they'll try to find it, and they can't find it. And even if they find it, it will say something else on the packaging. So let's say this was Commodore. People will only remember Commodore, but when I found the item today, it will say, oh, why is there an A there? I remember an O. And then this is the Mandela Effect, and I must have catched one, because this is really scary stuff. I mean, this is so brain dead. But anyway, we have to conclude something. I will show you all the things in my next presentation, and I will conclude with what I have located here. So I will come back to these things after the main presentation. And here we have the item I'm looking for. This is the elusive tape rack that I can only find 4 pictures of online. Luckily, there was a library in around Oslo, so in the east coast of Norway, and they had made a gallery of their library because they were upgrading the library, and then they uploaded this picture to some kind of Flickr or something. So this was the link. I'll put the QR code. So this was like on Flickr, and then Buskerud Folkebibliotek, which is the county, and then like the People's Library. And I started off looking for this tape rack online because I wanted to buy one. I remember this from our local toy shop in the 80s. So I pretty much just typed in the Norwegian word because I didn't know exactly what this would be called in English, of course. I'm Norwegian. So I typed in the word cassette stativ, and Google only showed me this first picture, and I thought, yeah, that's cool. That's the one I'm looking for. But then I began to dig deeper, and I couldn't find anything else. And I thought, okay, maybe my wording is wrong or something. So I went into this Flickr site, this gallery of this library, and I found this picture, and then they had 80 pages of pictures, so there's probably like 10 or 15 on each page. And yes, believe it or not, I hoped that they had taken more pictures. And the good thing is that I could download the original image. So it was in high quality, I could see the metadata and all of this. And I was like, wow, there it is, right? And I was looking and looking and looking, but I couldn't really find more than one picture at first. And then I thought, well, maybe I can see the logo of the manufacturer. And of course, this image was a little bit blurry. So I thought I could just go through everything online on the website, and I did find another picture. So this is from a different angle. Unfortunately, I can't see the manufacturer logo up here, but here you can see the tapes, right? And this is what I remember from our local toy shop. I remember this exact design. And you may notice that there is a lock right there. And that was like in the shop, the shop owner had to come over there because we wanted, of course, this Commodore 64 game all the way in the back. So he had to unlock it, slide out 3 tapes, and then take this one out, and maybe we didn't want it. But the good thing about this tape racks is that when you flip them over, you can also see the backside. And I thought that was a really good item I can have in my retro basement, because I have some tapes I want to display, and I want to include memories from the shops I went to, maybe cafes and VHS rental stores, and I just want some furniture and some tiny little things that had a special remembrance for me. And I also found another picture. And this one was actually much better. So this is the low version I have inside here, but we can actually start to see the name of the manufacturer. And that was just, super awesome. So I will bring up a really big image. And yeah, so here we can clearly see it says Ateka, and the English word is tape racks, which is exactly the same as here in Norway. So cassette system or, something similar like that. And I could make out, this is a low resolution, but on my computer I had a little bit better version. And it says Sussex, made in Britain, and then there's a phone number. And then I just Google Ateka Sussex, and I tried to identify what this was, and that was Hailsham. I couldn't find much online. This is obviously a company that had great businesses in in the 80s, at least. That must have been clear. And my friend Googled it, and he could find the company information, like extremely brief. But we saw that the number and everything else was correct. So on this tape rack, I was expecting to see a Norwegian manufacturer or something, maybe a distributor, or maybe the company that actually made them. Maybe this item was made in the 2000 even. So that's where it started. But I felt it was something really weird because I couldn't find any information. And I went even further and I Googled some more now that I had, the name in Ateka. And, after a couple of pages of Google, I found this advertisement in Music Week magazine from 1977. So, and here you can see it says Hail Sam Sussex and all this stuff. Exactly the same logo. And of course, this business must have produced tens of thousands of this. I mean, even if they were in England producing this in the 70s, this managed to find its way into Norway and probably entire Europe. So this thing was everywhere, and I will basically just read what it says, take out tape racks, sell more tapes. Now is the time to invest in a racking system. So that's another word you can use, secure or open, and that was the lock that we see here. For more effective tape display, yeah, that's also a word you can Google that can treble your tape sales. Triple maybe? Ah, for the coming tourist season, our customers have proved this. And then lots of words you can use, right? Wall-mounted, freestanding, and counter-standing racks available. Example, stock new LP box set racks and tape box set racks change from cartridge display to cassette display at a fraction of cost by replacing cartridge cages with cassette cages on your existing rack. So that means that these could also hold Atari 2600 cartridges, and then you can upgrade it to hold the tape. And as you could see in my other picture as well, you could also hold CDs. So now you kind of see the lifespan all the way from the 70s on tapes and then into the 80s for cartridges, game cartridges, and Commodore games and BBC games and Amstrad games. And then when CD came, they could also upgrade it and put CDs in them. So this must have been possible living for a very long time, way into the 90s. And here's another picture. So this is the last picture I could find. And here you can see the difference between the racks. So here we have the tapes, and then we have the CDs, and actually CDs and tapes. So you can actually mix. So this is where it started, and this is also where everything kind of didn't make sense. That it was extremely difficult to find anything of this. But of course, I had to Google some more, and a couple of weeks later, actually, I was looking to research some VHS memories, and completely unrelated, I found this picture, and this is from a Norwegian video store in the 80s, because I could read down here, it says Dynasty, and there was a famous TV series, soap opera thing that was playing on the TV in the 80s, from 81 to 87 or something. And then you can also see Evergreen. And here is also a brand that I remember. We actually rented this type of movie box for VHS. So you can rent the machine for 65 NOK per day, so 24 hours, and it's from SLT Video. But of course, the most interesting thing that I was looking for, because even I learned a lot of words, tape racks and hinged and wall-mounted, flip display, swing, tape holder, audio tape flip or CD flip, and all these lots of words. I was hoping to find at least an image with people in a shop, maybe some teenager buying music, and then we will see this tape rack in the background. So I was lucky. So now I had actually 5 images I could find online, but this is pretty much it. It is so hidden. And of course, this is tapes. I know this is audio tapes because right here I can spell it out. It says Tracy Ullman. Of course, she was also an actor, but yeah. So I'm really lucky that I can find at least some proof that these existed. But the fact that we cannot find them for sale is kind of weird. Because you would think that these things would at least surface after so many years, being forgotten, or when people build a retro basement. It should be more present on internet. And of course, I went into this entire case of trying to find a used one, or maybe it was still on sale. Maybe I could find a new one. I guess these items are, of course, probably like tens of thousands of back then, because this was like business-to-business products. So it would be probably extremely expensive to buy a new one even today. But then again, what kind of shop do they actually sell audio tapes? That is only for specialized shops, I would imagine. So that is how what I figured out, like when I dug into this. And of course, I hope this video will shed some light on these things, and people will start digging and trying to find it. And eventually, if you Google for these words that I mentioned, you will at least find maybe this video and maybe a post on my website. But yeah, I just wanted to give you some background into how it all ended up for me. So I decided that I will, of course, have to make my own. So I show some pictures of that, but I also will come back to it in the end of this video. And in the next segment, I will talk a little bit more of why I remember this toy shop in our local town, and how I remember this tape rack, and why the toy shop was so special to me. So we will find some more images, and then we will proceed with the next segment. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the toy store we had locally here in my town. And I couldn't really find a logo because finding this company online, of course, they went not bankrupt, but they, ended their business in 2013. And for the past 10 years or 15 years, they did change their name a little bit, and I couldn't find any website, even on archive.org. So it's difficult to kind of give some references to the toy shop, but I did find a couple of news clippings from the 80s. That should be enough for me to tell the story of my favorite toy shop. And that is where I took great notice of that tape rack I was talking about. But anyway, this is an advertisement from 2000. The name of the company was always Centro, and it's a reference to like center or town center, like in the center of something. And I did change the names a couple of times. In 2000 at least, they were called Centro, Hobby, and At Data. And before that, the original name that I remember the most was Centro Leker og Hobby. And translated to English, that is Centro Toys and Hobby. And in this toy shop, they had pretty much everything. But I will show you what happened in this toy shop in 1973. And I will bring up two images here. So this is during the opening, or maybe it had opened before, but there used to be a bank in this building. So there was a big floor under a building in the center of town, or kind of, pretty much in the center. And there used to be a bank there, and then some toy shop came in there in the 70s, if I can find the other picture. So first we will focus on this, and this is, when was this? This is from 16 October 1973. And you may wonder why there are a lot of people standing in an escalator. Well, that is because this is an AI image, enhanced version of the original one that I found in a digital version of the newspaper. And it says, "Fun with the escalator," or "Gøy med rulletrapp." And rulletrapp, if you kind of translate that into English, it will be something like rolling stairs, because that is what it was. And in the opening, this was big news, because the town that we have here is not, one of the 10 most biggest even in Norway. So it's a, kind of a small town. But this was like the big news of the decade, or any time. And all the kids came to go up and down this stairwell. And in the bottom here, where they are taking the picture, is the actual toy shop. And up here there was like a kiosk with candy and, magazines and stuff like that. I used to buy all my Star Wars magazines up here. But this was 1 year before I was even born. So I was born in 74. And this is where it started, because I wanted to find an image of the toy shop, if I could find the actual tape rack. But of course I didn't find it. I only could find a couple of images from this shop. So here is again, "Welcome to Centro." He's talking about this anti-theft checkpoint that you have to go through. And this image is from 1987. And this is the boss of the shop. And by 1987, I was there a lot buying Star Wars figures. And I also probably would have bought Commodore 64 tapes, in that time frame. when this picture was taken. And I will show you an AI enhanced version of it, so it looks, much more realistic. So, yeah, it is so fun to look at the colors because they are so spot on. So my friend Wax said he put this into Google Gemini or something, and I can really tell it's Christmas because up here we have a very typical Norwegian Christmas decoration, like this heart thing. And yeah, this toy shop, of course, the tape rack is not visible here, so yet again, I could not find it. So I started looking for more pictures and found another one. So again, the boss is sitting here, and this is in January 1995. And I also managed to get a colorized version of this. So this is Megazord. But its close, it's pretty much accurate, I would say. Of course, the AI struggles a bit here. But again, the tape rack is just down here somewhere. So I was really like, why can't I find this tape rack? I just want to, see it. And I did find another picture, so let me see. This was from, this is December 1994, and now we are into the Amiga CD32 times, and you can actually see up here it says Microcosm. So that's just a random guy, this is not me. That's the name of the toy shop, Centro Leker and Hobby. And again, I have a nice little colorized version of that, if I can find it. Nope, there it is. I have to look for the images. Alright, so I don't know if this cover is correct. I have been messing up a little bit there, but it still says Microcosm. And again, the tape rack is behind here on the wall. And I was, getting a little bit desperate. I couldn't still find that angle. But then I found this picture. And this is from 1991, and this is during the Amiga days. You can also see Sega here, there's a Commodore monitor, there's even some PCs down here, and there's an actual Amiga 500, and the price is 4,000 NOK. And this would be during the time when I went there, so I knew the tape rack would be now on the other side. This is taken in the opposite direction, and I actually stand here, like, in the same environment. I was really happy to see this picture, because this is what I remember. We went there to copy games for Amiga and check out stuff, and of course this is the colorized version. The AI couldn't do much here, faked these screenshots, and yeah, it was really cool to see this thing again. And eventually the toy shop would go bankrupt, so this is from 2011. It says Sluttsalg. Everything must go. This is the only image I could get out of internet, so this was 2011. And then I had another logo, which I managed to pick out. And I found a little advertisement for the same company. There's even a website, but that is not even indexed in archive.org. So that was, I couldn't really find any references to that toy shop. But I knew I had found a video from back in the day, which was the introduction of PlayStation. And this is his son that you saw, the other guy, so I remember him. So here we could see PlayStation. This is in April of 1995. So all the Amiga stuff would be gone, but they used to have like model kits and all kinds of modeling hobby things in the back there. And I was looking through all the frames, and by this angle, the tape rack is on this side, again, outside of frame. But the cool thing about this toy shop is that it wasn't just a toy shop. They had things for the entire family. And the great thing is that we get to spend a lot of time in this toy shop because they had a cafe next in the same floor next to it. So the parents can go in there and chit-chat all day and drinking coffee, leaving us kids to roam free inside the toy shop, which gave us a lot of time in the toy shop, like hours. And it became like a second home because we went there as much as possible, buying Star Wars figures, and I bought Commodore stuff and accessories, eventually Amiga 500 stuff, and then the Amiga 1200 would arrive there, and then PlayStation 1 would arrive. So I did pause the movie a couple of times, but I could not find any reference to the tape rack. So this is where the other pictures were, and this is where all the pictures were taken along this wall, and on this side, on the next wall, that's where the tape rack is. So yeah, it was cool to see this footage because this is the only footage I could find, and here you can see some other typical store stuff. There are some PC printers and lots of these, racks of all types. And again, behind this woman on the back here is the tape rack. But yeah, it was not possible to find anything. And yeah, I will collect some notes, and we will see where we're gonna go next. And we're gonna go to this video. So this is the actual shop today. Of course, the shop is gone. But I used to be in the basement of this place, and we used to go in. The entrance was in here, so there's like a kiosk, and there was like the escalator went down here, and yeah, I mean it's cool that the building still stands. So I just want to go back to another advertisement I found in Record Business, 1978 and March 27. So this one is the best picture I could find that matched the one that either was standing on a table in shops. Of course, the version I remember was hanging on the wall, but it will still be the same. So it's still a tape racks, and yeah, they look very similar to the one that I saw in the Library of Norway. And this is probably also what they used in my town. And it says the same, record and tape shop managers at Teka Tape Racks are now offering a further version of their secure tape rack system, which has been well known to record railers for many years. So the other advertisement I had was from 1977. So yeah, this thing has been around for a long time. And each metal arm, epoxy power coated, has its own lock, so that in this system the metal arm need not to be removed from the frame to take the tape out. This reduces loading and customer serving time. Wall-mounted, counter-standing, and freestanding racks available. So I did use a bunch of these words before, but the ones I used to talk to AI were pretty much a mix of all of these. So tape racks 80s, hinged, wall-mounted, flip display, swing, hinged, wall-mounted, swing, rack, poster flip, tape holder, hinged, wall-mounted, swing, wrap, tape, flip, blah, 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 blah. And here's also the link where I found the 4 pictures in high resolution, the only ones really showing the tape rack. And then I tried to talk to AI, and I showed him, showed Gemini AI, and my English could have been better, probably, but I wanted to not give it too many hints at first. So, are you able to identify the wall-mounted rack behind the woman in the picture? This is from a VHS rental shop. I should probably leave that out, but wondering what type is behind her. Yeah, and the AI said that it's a display rack for VHS cassette covers. Yeah, no, that's not correct. We know that. The cases you see on the wall are empty VHS display sleeves or dummy covers. No, these were typically the outer cardboard sleeves or plastic display inserts showing the movie artwork and title. I'm pretty sure that existed, but this is not what we are seeing. Customer would browse the wall of covers, pick the movie they wanted, and bring the empty sleeve to the counter. Blah, blah, blah. And it says that the wall-mounted system in image appears to be metal or plastic modular rack with clear front slots designed to hold standard VHS sleeves. Blah, blah, blah. Nope, sorry. Gemini, you failed. And I asked it if it could show me similar pictures, and then the image search tool encountered an error. And then here are more examples of the wall-mounted flip cassette cover browser rack used in the music store during the 1980s. I sincerely apologize for the continued technical issues. I will try one final broad search to get a highly specific 80 retail display you're looking for. This is the one requested. I deeply apologize, blah, 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 blah. So you see, even the AI freak out when I try to ask this. This is, I'm truly touching the Mandela Effect here. And finally, I got it to respond, and it says with great certainty that here are the images from the most focused search targeting the exact picture you described. A large wall-mounted metal frame display with swing panels used in the 1980s, retail to show rows of physical cassette tapes. Okay. That is clearly bullshit. Frames of hanging like this. This one is, of course, something that exists today. This is like regular movie poster flip stuff. And here it just tries to illustrate some photos or something. So this is from an actual website, but, you know. And they're claiming AGI is around the corner. Nope. So it's fairly obvious that all my efforts in trying in search engines failed. Also trying to get AI, OpenAI or Google Gemini AI to identify this, either by a picture that I give them. I try to give them a lot of information. I try to give them no information. But of course it says a lot of things correct, but yeah, it's always the same. But we should end the tape rack problems for now. So I want to go back to the toy store and, you know, this beautiful memories of me standing here. This is not me on the pictures, by the way. But yeah, this shop, this toy and hobby shop, that was so popular and so, you know, rememberable for me. And I did show you earlier that they closed the shop. It was actually because they went bankrupt, I think in 2011 or something, 2015 maybe. I can't remember. There's so much information, but I did some more searches trying to find anything about the escalator and the history of that building, but the only picture I could find were, yeah, the saddest pictures I could find. So this is from 2003, and the company had moved out already. So we used to go down these escalators, and in the back here there was a cafe, and you know where the photo has been taken is pretty much from the entry. And yeah, this is from 2003, and they are dismantling the escalator. So after it was installed in 1973, then 30, 40 years later, I guess. Not 30 years? Yeah, 40, whatever. And these two happy guys obviously enjoying what they're doing. Of course, it's not smiles of enjoyment, it's probably smiles of horror. They probably went down these stairs themselves, going to the toy shop, whatever. Yeah, so the picture looks a little bit weird, but of course the escalator mechanics is always deep down in the floor and all the engines and stuff. So they're just standing inside the pit, basically. But yeah, so I cannot go to these stairs anymore. Like I said, I show you the building, and yeah, I think that's pretty much the end of the escalator and end of the toy story, if you can call it that. We can call it Toy Story, my real Toy Story. And in the next segment, I will just talk a little bit about myself and why I'm doing all of this crazy stuff, because who else can talk about an escalator in a toy shop for 1 hour? That's only crazy people like me, so I see you on the other end. Yeah, it's about all the crazy stuff I've been doing since I started with my retro journey, I guess, in the early 2000s. You can visit www.stoneoakvalleystudios.com, and I will go through some of the bigger, insane projects I did that are all finalized. So somewhere down the line in 2002 or something, I was living in a new apartment in 96, and I got some extra space, and I wanted to buy an arcade machine. I really wanted Operation Wolf because it's pretty cool with the gun and everything. But then I talked, if I bought one cabinet, there's only one game. And I had been playing around with MOM emulators and stuff like this, so I decided basically to just build my own. Then I can get everything I wanted, so many emulators inside, and yeah, just have creative freedom. So I drew up this tiny little sketch in, I guess, end of 2002, and in 2003 I made a 3D model, so it will look like this, and I have some animations for that, and it is quite a unique thing. I will try to make a movie about it. I had a plan in 2008, but then I bought a new house after living in that apartment that I talked about. And I've taken, hundreds of photos and 2 years of building this machine physically. So there's a lot of details to go through. But I will just show you some animation, at least, from it. I also have a tiny little presentation teaser that is from 2008, I think, and I had a plan to do it in 2009. But anyway, the project is available on my website. It's one heck of an insane project, and I call it the Stone Oakvalley's Multi-Arcade Console 2000, codename SOMAC, and here are some extremely quick pictures of that, and all the views on that, and the first time testing, and when it's finalized, and some of the artwork that was too expensive, so I couldn't actually buy it. I'm still trying to think about buying it. A little bit from the construction, and this is me finalizing the thing, celebrating with some cheap cider. This is an actual working setup. All of this cable means something. This is not an accident. and some other crazy stuff I put in there. Just all electronics, and also made my own 3D matrix software that you can fly around in and pick the games, specifically made for that machine, of course. I also made a book that contains all the games on this arcade machine, so it's running 13 pieces of emulators. It has 26,000 games. And here's a little write-up. So Sumac play a bit of history, the childhood preserver, the most spectacular arcade console machine on this planet. Highly usable and addictive, incredible overall design. Mechanically modeled in 3D from scratch, and yeah, a bunch of stuff here. So 26,000 games spawn on 16 classic machines, so it's all emulated. I have a touchscreen. I have 2 pieces inside, and I worked from December 2003 until October. And yeah, it emulates all of these machines. And now I will show you a tiny little presentation of that.
It's time for hit to get lost. It's time for hit. It's time for hit. It's time for hit hop. It's time for hit hop to get lost. It's time for hit hop. It's time for hip hop to get lost.
And if you talk that was an abomination of a hardware design, that was super crazy. Here's another crazy project I did. And this was Stone Oak Valley's authentic SID collection, so it was recorded on real hardware, where I recorded all the Commodore 64 SID music. And the amount of files I recorded were pretty high. So I started on this project in, when was it? Like 2006, and actually it lasted all the way to 2022. It had a couple of stops in between, but the original release, I think, was 2008. And I produced 190,000 recordings of SID music, recorded from real hardware, recorded onto a PC, and I created MP3 files out of it, and it was based on the high voltage SID collection, so the high VSC. And then a couple of years later, I think 6 years had passed, I recorded the releases 50 to 77, and that resulted in 704 files. But I didn't stop there. I also took the Compute Gazette SID collection and recorded also 133 to 143 release in my SOASC Return of the SOASC project, and I recorded 120 files there as well. And the original, complete together from 2006 to 2022, I produced 4 terabytes of data, and 1 million files were included in the project. So that would be the SID file and the music file and the MP3 recording, and also the FLAC recording. So in 2015, I started recording in FLAC also. And the amount of files for everything, 4 terabytes, is almost 900,000 files. And the first version of that, since we are talking about insane hardware configurations, well, check this one out. This was the actual recording booth I had for a couple of years. It was a 3-meter long table, and all the electronics, 2 Commodore 64, 2 PCs, 2 servers. So there was actually 4 PCs running here. I had 1 screen for each of the Commodore, because I was recording 2 Commodores at the same time to be efficient, and I had some couple of PC monitors around. That was the first generation, and I thought it took a lot of space in my apartment. And in 2008, I got my own house, and then in 2015, actually in 2008, I think, 2 years later, I put everything inside my own little rack. So now it was more like a transportable unit. But yeah, all of this is actually complete intentional. This is not accident or something. So now you can see a pattern of crazy electronics. And then eventually in 2015, this was the final setup, so much more cleaner now. The Commodores are there, and then 2 recording PCs, and that's just a multi-screen, and much more compressed. So if you want to see more about this, you can look for this thumbnail. Wherever this tape rack video is, you just look for this logo, and I made a 45-minute long video about that as well. But of course, it didn't stop there. No. We also have the Amiga. So I did the same stuff for Amiga. That was called Stone Oak Valley's Amiga Music Collection, and this was also recorded in MP3 and FLAC or whatever. This started a little bit later, so 2009 maybe. Went on for 2 years, and then I had a long pause, and then I started again in 2018, I think, and I recorded for a couple of more years. This project also ended eventually, because the insanity is just overwhelming. And it's a little bit simpler setup, but it's still the same crazy hardware stuff going on, right? I just put a plate on the wall, and I put that's a PC and a touchscreen, and the actual recording PC, and then I just put the Amiga 1200 down here, and I started recording. And of course, that produced a lot of data as well. So from 2007 to 2022, Yeah, I produced also about 5 terabytes, and if you're going to play all these songs, so this was recorded on real Amiga, you can play for 374 days, yeah, 24/7. So, yeah, I do crazy stuff, and again, if you want to see a little movie about this project, just 6 minutes long, you can look for this thumbnail, wherever this tape rack video is, and I'm actually testing out a new ID system, so I want people to find my videos based either on the text or the thumbnail. But I started experimenting with some ID, and if you kind of put this into a search engine, you might be able to find this video you are looking for. It's an experiment I'm doing. I had found that this worked on Google, actually. I couldn't get it to work on DuckDuckGo. Because, yeah, it's a very special, unique code, and the idea is to find just my videos on Google by inputting this ID. So it's an experiment. For now, I just wanted to mention it. And I guess, yeah, all my videos will have this ID in some sort. I will talk about it and see how it goes. I don't know if it's gonna work, but yeah, that was all I wanted to bring at the end here, and I will switch over to myself, where I will end this insane video. Okay, so I will now show you live that these tape racks is impossible to find any images on, except for the 4 images that I found online. And when I started this, I actually just started with the Norwegian word, which is a cassette stativ. Let me see. So, and the first image I found was, yeah, that's the tape rack that I'm looking for. And I thought, okay, that's nice. I have at least one picture, so that will be in the library in Norway that I, you know, showed you in the previous presentation, just to bring it up again. So this is a library in the east of Norway, and yeah, all this bullshit from these people. Anyway, so I was curious, you know, I want to see more of this. And of course there's the image again. But then you see there's like a constant repetition, and then suddenly it starts to go really bad really quickly, like really unrelated images. And now it's like, it's just these boxes, and you can just keep on going and going and going, just like the bunny. And then if you type in the actual thing, so there will be tape, sorry, I hate typing on laptops, tape racks, yeah. So now you can see there's nothing here. Of course I wouldn't expect this is what they want to sell now, but even then, these retro things, you know, they still show up, and you can go on and go on forever until it stops. You will never find it, and then you will let me see. Oh, stupid language shit Windows has. So I'm recording on the same PC I'm showing this, that's why it's a little bit sluggish. But again, you can see it doesn't really help, because you will not find this thing. So what do? Of course you plug in vintage, because that's what it is. And you would expect to find it. Nope. You can go on forever. Even images from record stores and record shops, You won't even see it in the background. Even in old photos, it's impossible to find any image of it. And you can keep doing this. You can plot in maybe 80s. Again, it will be all of this stuff. It's basically the same, right? So there are a lot of cool shelves and cool ways you can display your tapes or store your tapes or whatever, but you will never find this tape rack anywhere. And even if you put in the producer, which we know is Ateka, you will probably find some advertising, but I can't find the image. I did find one advertisement, like I said, in the Music Week magazine from 1977. So I guess, yeah, it was somewhere. Yeah, secure tape rack. So here you can see it's also an advertisement from 1978, which is the second advertisement. I have not seen this one, I think. So let's plot in Ateka and see if that is the same advertisement. Well, it's actually a new type. Wow. This is all happening live, so I have not seen this. That's super interesting. So Ateka tape racks are new, offering a new version. Wow. Some music cassettes. They even have dimension, and of course the company and the logo again. But they do call it tape rack system, so let's try and Google that. Now you should find it. But I can guarantee you will not find it. So of course we go to images first. The PC is a little bit slow. So again, you can scroll through all of these images. I've never searched on this before, but I immediately know you're not going to find it. It doesn't matter what you do. You can also type like hinged tape rack system, because it's like doors, and it will never show. You can try it yourself, and you can also try like flip system. Now there's a lot of system here, but and now you can see that these poster flip types that is very similar to the tape racks actually start to show. But again, you can keep moving. So what is this? Easy flip. And you can see Google struggle immediately to find anything. And I put also the images into ChatGPT. And yeah, these things are impossible. And if you think about back in the day, you would have these tape things, and then of course this is furniture or system that is not meant for home use. This is just for shops. So what happens if you type like poster flip display? Yeah, and you will immediately find this type of wall mounted, these big ones like this one. You see, it's exactly the same system, and you can find it and you can buy it, and you can probably also put in vintage, and I will also show pictures of that. Of course now they didn't, but there might be some. And now you can see that if this was the world you used back in the 80s, poster flip display system, you can find it, you can buy it, you can do whatever. But if you try and flip this out with let's say audio tapes, again, good luck. You will find everything else. This is a flip display for posters. Or could this actually be the one? Let's see. Multi-TO. No, this seems like a poster, and yeah, this seems more like should I call it like images or something. Of course, these crappy sites just turn into garbage when you try to do anything. So let me see if I can go back. So yeah, I mean, you can keep on going and keep on going. You will only find this type of images. Even if you put the images that I found, the only 4 I could find of this system, put it into Google Images to try and match the photo, Google will bring back these photos because it thinks that the flip-flops is actually walls, like messed up walls or something. And this also happens with ChatGPT. And I have to really instruct ChatGPT to kind of understand what I'm looking for. So it's quite obvious. So what could this be? Cassette display? Yeah, this is like this is one way of doing it, but of course, but you can go on and go on, and you will find many similar systems that you will also remember seeing back in the store back in the day. But you can just keep going. I mean, it's just weird. I'll try to close this. So, and you can see how weird everything looks when you type in audio tapes. So maybe we can try cassette, if that is the proper word. And you see these things just pop out again, posters and weird tape stuff, and then, oh, tape, you want tape? Yeah, this is the tape I know. And then it stops. Then it turns into these images, poster-like things. I mean, I even have the word retro here, so it's like, what if we try my birth year, 1974? I mean, you know, good luck. It would be nice to look through some old music catalogs, but yeah, I did this for 5 days. Variations of words. I even got ChatGPT to help me with certain, you know, words and like systems and stuff like this. But it always turns up the same. It is impossible to find. And I wonder if you watch this movie, you know, maybe in a couple of years, when you finally stumble over this video. I think by then, if you type tape racks, I don't know, vintage, retro, I'm pretty sure that the first images you will see is either of my own system or the story I'm making right now. Because here you can see I did type tape racks, but somehow these boxes just appear, and you can keep going and keep going until Google gets so confused. It's showing like similar hardware-ish types of things. And yeah, I think you get the point. So I will leave that thing there. I think I talked about a lot of the details in the previous presentation, and now I will just go to the conclusion of this video. Okay, so I hope you liked that in-depth research and introduction. And of course now I will bring you back to the conclusion. So I went to a hardware store before I googled some stuff online. I was looking for aluminum profiles, and I was looking for specifically columns like this. So this is a U column or U profile. They also have a bunch of other profiles. And I measured these tapes, so they are 18 millimeters, 1.8 centimeter, and I did find 1 meter length of these. So I bought some of these with me, and yeah, I haven't calculated how much I need and all that. That will come later. But this cost like I think it was like 500 NOK or something, so rough estimation like $40–50. And if I'm lucky, I can make maybe two doors, 2 pages, if we want to call it that, or 2 tape racks, including the frame that holds the mechanism. And it was said that it was 18 and 18, but these ones were actually a little bit too tight, so I'm scared of sliding it because we will make some scratch marks. So I instantly knew that these weren't that great. Then I found this, which is really like slim profile, and this is like, wow, this fits like a hand in a glove. So now you can get to see the picture. And then my plan is to, of course, build it up like this, so you can slide it in between here, and then you will just continue upwards for how many rows and columns I need. And then I figure out, these can actually be on the top and the bottom, so also on the sides. And then I was thinking, you know, when I put this like this, let me just show you. So I will use this and this. So now I'll make my own H profile. And then of course, if you put this like here, right here, I could have like a hinge, so at least I can open it up, and then I could slide the tape out, because I'm not looking for you know, a locking mechanism. But I will try to keep the design as the original was. And this bar I will probably cut up, so this is like a hollow type of pipe. Maybe I will use this as hinges. Maybe I will 3D print some parts. But I also noticed when I got back home that I forgot to bring a piece, and that is like a plastic piece that you can use, I guess, on these two. So there will be like a corner, so that this space in between here will be just click and click, so you get like a black design there as well. So at the end, you know, these are really nice looking brushed metal, and hopefully I will manage to rebuild this item that is not that doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it's a Mandela Effect, it's gone. And maybe my video and my post on my website in future, well, will bring this thing back to life, and people will start talking about it, and suddenly it will resurface in AI and in Google and yeah, DuckDuckGo, and yeah, maybe people will start talking about it. So I guess that is the end of this offshoot video. I didn't plan to make this video now, so today it's 1st of October. I'm planning to make 27 episodes of unpacking my treasures, and then followed by 21 episodes of me sitting down and actually recreating my first day or first week or first month of a specific machine. Everything from 1981 and all the way up to 2025, I suppose. Yeah, but this was just a short little, or maybe it became longer video than I expected, but who cares? The show's over, and you will just have to do your own research if you want to find this tape magazine, tape rack online. And yeah, I will start to cut these eventually and put some pictures on my website. There will not be another video about this thing right here. I guess I will feature it way into the future when I've hanged it up on the wall. You know, we can go back and say, hey, remember this one? And I will refer to this video. So that's all for now, and take care and bye bye.